I'll let you live with me without a deposit or pushing you for rent on time. You go ahead and rob me and try to convince me I'm the problem. You, Rich Garrett. Okay, so this happened a while ago, 5 years or so, and can't figure out where this belongs. Except on Reddit. The guys in r/well that's Sixon r/TIF. You told me you might like it. Technically more of a choosing robber. My old housemates were moving out. I had a lot of warning, so I put a post on Facebook. My flat is pretty nice in a major UK city, so I figured I'd get some interest without having to live with a stranger. Cue the asshat. He gets in touch telling me he's moving down and would love to move in. This worked for me. I knew him from high school. We'd grown apart though, 10 years without really talking. Since I knew him, I wasn't stressed about a deposit and said he could pay his rent when he got here. I had forgotten he was a compulsive liar at this point. He moves in, and on his way up he meets my current housemates moving out. He tells them he just got back from Vegas where he proposed to his girlfriend. When he finds out they're my old housemates, he asked them not to tell me. None of the Vegas stuff was true. Pointless lie. I found this out after I told them he robbed me. He told me they'd broken up. He told me he'd gotten a job at a local hospital. I figured that was weird cause it literally only just got saved from being shut down. As I asked for the rent, he told me he's forgotten his card reader, UK bank security device, so had to wait for that. When it eventually did come, apparently, he told me he'd paid me. 5 working days later, normally takes a few hours, I'm chasing him again. During the 5 days he tells me he went on a day-long course to learn to fix MRI machines. Alarm bells went off for me here, as I'm pretty sure equipment that complex is harder to fix than a day's training would provide. After I'd chased him, he goes to the bank in person and tells me I have a guaranteed payment that day. Friday. It never comes. I tell him we're going to the bank together the next day, Saturday. He agrees. I go to meet friends. Saturday, he's out when we get up. I was annoyed, so I text him and go out for my old housemates leaving drinks. The rent would have to wait. When we get back, I notice an Evian bottle in my room, which I fill with all my loose change, pound coins included, is no longer full above the label. I'd noticed it had gotten above label level recently. This was my saving grace. The bottle was a 2-liter bottle with the nozzle squeezed so I could fit coins in. He must have shaken it for ages, picked out all the pound coins, and then put the rest back in. Must have been around 200 pounds minus 300. I check his room. He's left enough stuff to look like he's just out. Like belts, jackets, an old suitcase, etc. But as I decide to dig deeper, I felt bad, but at this point enough alarms has been rung for me. I noticed his main luggage bag is gone. So are all of his electronics, laptop, cameras, and all lenses, underwear, practical clothing like t-shirts and jeans, etc. I also found a letter in the bin from a charity providing emergency housing for homeless young people addressed to him. I text him, no response at all. I figured he must have robbed me on Friday night when I was out. I proceed to tell him not to come back, I'm calling the police, etc. I change the locks the next day, Sunday, as I'm starting my new job on the Monday. He then posts on Facebook something along the lines of not to go to Ireland for the weekend or you'll get kicked out. His weird way of gaslighting to make out like I'm being insane. I genuinely wasn't sure if I was overreacting. So I spoke to my girlfriend and we did a little list of the off things to make sense of it. He robbed cash. He took all his stuff. He was at home all day, so when did he work? His job almost definitely didn't exist as the hospital nearly closed down. You don't learn to fix MRI machines in one day. He lied to my friends about his trip. He could have answered my texts. The rent never got paid. He was homeless but didn't tell me. We were meant to sort the rent that day, so if it wasn't malicious he would have told me. Last I heard he was in Manila. I wound up around £1,500 put of pocket due to rent, new locks, stolen money, etc. I assume since he's taken the keys and tried to make it look like he hadn't left that his plan was to rob me. More later on when I was in work. TLDR, I let an old friend move in without a deposit after forgetting he's a compulsive liar. Robbed me and only by luck didn't get robbed even more.